Ah, time to relax.
Professor Hanneman, do you have a moment to talk?
Of course, Miss Dorothea. Whatever is on your mind.
I heard you were once a member of the nobility, and you surrendered your title to come here.
Indeed, I was a noble once. Why are you so curious about that?
I knew there was something noble about your speech and your perfect manners. You're always impeccably dressed, too, and you have a certain pride about you. What interests me is that you threw it all away. Why?
I threw nothing away, child. In fact, by stepping away from its trappings, in my heart I feel closer than ever to the true meaning of nobility.
How so?
Consider this. At its inception, the concept of nobility assumed that the greatest among the populace would rise to power. In my mind, I believe that means those who value knowledge, those who strive for more and wish to protect and guide their fellow man. However, in practice, nobility often serves to keep those deemed commoners down, segregated from those who, by chance, were born to a noble family. That is one of the reasons I decided to leave that nonsense behind and dedicate myself to the study of crests. Though I have abandoned my position, in my mind it was to pursue what I consider to be a truly noble pursuit, that of knowledge.
I see. Well, you're definitely a noble in that sense of the word. To pursue such admirable ideas without regard for your social position. How wonderful.
Pardon?
Oh, it's nothing. I was just very moved by your words.
Ah, well, I'm quite pleased to hear you say so. And that should explain it. Did you understand all of that, young Annette?
I did, thank you very much. Oh, but I was also wondering about this part here. It seems a bit off.
Questioning something like this is proof that your understanding has grown. Most impressive. Sit there, and I'll put this on the blackboard so you may copy it into your notes for later study.
Wonderful! I can't wait!
I believe that should explain everything, yes? Any further questions?
None. Thank you so much. I feel so great. I'm really sorry for taking up so much of your time, though.
Not at all. Not at all. Your intellectual curiosity is marvelous to see. And you have a top-notch character. Keep on as you are, and I sense a bright future for you. Seeing you continue to grow and succeed is more than a humble professor like myself deserves.
Really? That's so nice of you to say. I'll do my best. I'm honored to be your student.
If only your friends would learn from your example. Yes, a classroom full of attentive, studious pupils would be quite refreshing after all these years. Have a good evening, Miss Annette, and do not hesitate to ask any other questions.
I won't, thank you. Goodbye for now.
Wait, you'll trip if you leave like that.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Phew. That about wraps it up for today's training. No thanks to a certain distraction. Professor Hanneman, I know you're there. It's extremely unsettling the way you're always staring like that.
Oh, my apologies, child. I was trying to remain inconspicuous, not wanting to interrupt.
Your half-hearted attempt to hide your weird staring only makes it weirder.
Well, I must apologize. In the future, I shall do my staring out in the open.
That might ease the weirdness, but it will continue to be extremely unsettling.
I have no desire to disturb nor to disquiet you. But you are a most exquisite subject for my crest research. And you understand that the foundation of all research is observation.
I understand well enough. and I'll do my best to ignore him. But in return...
In return, I will keep your secret. I have not spoken a word of your twin crests, not even to the church. If they knew I was withholding such valuable information, I might be branded a traitor. But such matters are trivial compared to the future of Crestology.
Shh! Don't talk so loudly about it out here in the open!
Pardon my excitement. I simply cannot let the opportunity to study such a miraculous subject go to waste.
These awful crests may seem miraculous to you, but for me, they fall under the category of curse.
I hope one day you will share more about your tragic origins, whenever you have the time to recount it. Your tale may contain valuable information.
You are utterly lacking in empathy, you know that? Even if you spent your entire life observing me, you'd never understand my feelings and all I've been through. Now, if you'll excuse me.
I fear I may have made a misstep. I have no desire to trouble her, yet my research...
I should head back.
Finished with your training, Miss Marianne?
Oh, Professor Henneman. Yes, I've just finished training for the day.
You have merely completed the exercises assigned to you, yes? Nothing more? Or am I wrong?
Yes. I'm sorry. I should have done more.
No, please. You've done as you were asked. Quite solid work, child. I simply wish to ask a question. You possess a crest, do you not? When you entered the Officers' Academy, your father submitted a request to the monastery, as well as a significant donation. Your father asked that your crest not be confirmed, under any circumstances. At first, I thought he did not want the world to know that his daughter bore no crest. In your father's position as a newly minted noble, it would be most advantageous for his daughter to possess a crest, you see. However, I am now certain I was wrong. I believe you do, in fact, possess a crest of some sort.
How did you find out?
I have been called the Father of Crestology, which is a bit of an ostentatious title, I admit. However, a brief period of observation allows me to hazard a usually accurate guess as to whether a body houses a crest or not. With the knowledge of your father's actions and my own observations, I come to you with a warning. As a crest-bearer, you are guaranteed to have certain talents. It is prudent to study your crest diligently to ensure your safe mastery of these talents, whatever they may prove to be.
No, I have no talents.
Oh yes, you do. No matter how hard you may try to hide it, my sight is keener than that. And what I see, others will eventually notice as well. Those who hold power must wield it in the service of their fellow man, Miss Marianne. I believe that is true, whether you are peasant or noble, and doubly true, I would say, for those with crests. Or do you think I'm wrong? On principle alone, it is a waste to allow a rare talent to remain dormant. I would like very much to advise you to aid your understanding of your crest. Will you accept my offer?
No, I refuse.
That is regrettable. A veritable tragedy, Miss Marianne. Manuela, isn't it a bit rude to sigh at someone the moment you see them enter the room?
Hanneman, isn't it a bit rude to tell others how to behave? Besides, I could be sighing about any number of things more interesting than you.
Goodness, you're unusually irritable today. Don't you imagine your attitude a bit excessive? You snap at every little thing, your ill mood on display for one and all. It saddens me to see such behavior from one who should be setting a good example for the younger generation.
Well, listen to the noble lecturing a lowly commoner to be on her best behavior. Oh, wait. I meant to say, the former noble.
I fail to understand how my birth is relevant to the topic at hand. I was merely trying to say that as a fellow adult.
You're not done lecturing yet? Leave me alone and go pester someone else. Maybe leave everyone alone and go focus on your precious crest research.
I don't know what to say to you, Manuela. I was only speaking out of honest concern.
Oh, was that a sigh I heard? Isn't it a bit rude to sigh at someone just because?
Don't be so childish. You are so sensitive to ill will from others, yet you let your own emotions run wild. Why is it that you cannot keep a handle on yourself?
Keep a handle on? Well, I've never. What makes you think you're so much better? Just because you keep your emotions bottled up behind your stupid, stony face. Well, it doesn't mean everyone else has to do the same. Stop telling everyone how to behave, Hanneman. It will make you and the rest of us much happier.
I will not stand for this insolence. It is high time someone taught you.
Go on! If you think you can change me, I'd like to see you try. Thought so. You wouldn't dare.
Absolutely insufferable.
My princess is lovely. My princess is fair. She sings like cicadas in midsummer's air.
Cicadas? Those noisy little bugs that swarm about, endlessly mingling with one another?
Oh, good point. I will revise. My princess is lovely. My princess is fair. She sings like a swallow in midsummer's air.
Migrating birds. Never sticking around for long. Always off to find love somewhere else.
Oh, no, what I meant was,
Oh, Ferdinand, you're just not yourself today. You don't seem focused. Your poetry lacks poetry. Perhaps a break is in order.
I would not dream of stopping now. This is my golden opportunity.
Pardon me?
We are finally alone. Just the two of us.
Why, yes, we are, aren't we?
You see, Manuela, I have long admired you.
Is that a fact?
I saw you perform countless times while you were with the opera company.
Oh, I see. So what did you think?
The figure you cut, that heartbreaking voice, I was mesmerized. That is why I am tongue-tied. I am nervous about speaking to you alone, after idolizing you for so long.
There's no need to be nervous, Ferdinand. That songstress you recall is long gone. I get nervous too, you know. But I want you to feel relaxed around me. Understood?
Yes, yes, I promise to try.
You're really full of surprises, you know that? I assumed you'd be more interested in combat than the arts. Come and chat sometime? I'd love to hear more about how my performances mesmerized you.
Professor Manuela, it's been far too long since we've had a proper chat. Let's fix that right now.
Too true, Dorothea. We hardly have a moment to spare here. But it's so nice to see you flourishing. It certainly brings back memories. You know, somehow you've gotten even prettier. The years have been kind to you.
That's something like a rose telling a daisy it's pretty, but I appreciate the compliment all the same.
Oh, honey, if that's the case, I hope you'll work hard to never become a rose like me. Too many thorns.
Oh, stop it. You've accomplished a great deal. You should be proud.
That's a very nice sentiment, and I appreciate it. Thank you. So, I've been dying to know, how did you come to be enrolled here? I know you didn't have any family connections. How'd you do it?
Well, it did require pulling some noble strings. But learning everything to pass the entrance exams, that was all me, and very hard. Especially while I was still singing for the opera. But I wanted the Academy more than anything else.
Well, bravo and well done. You've always had to find your own way in life, haven't you? I so wish you could rely on people more often. Still, though, you haven't said why you worked so hard to get into Garreg Mach to begin with.
Isn't it obvious? Because you were here. When you retired, it broke my heart. But it also woke me up. Seeing someone like you who shined so brightly on the stage, give it all up and start a brand new life. It got me thinking about my own future and what I wanted it to look like. As ever, I followed your lead.
Oh my. I don't know what to say.
I had also heard that the heirs to the Alliance Empire and the Kingdom were all enrolling this year. With such an exceptional crop of potential spouses, how could I go anywhere else?
And have you gotten what you were after? Your dreams, a future, and a good partner?
I'm sure I'll find my somebody someday, but I haven't found them yet. It's so nice to spend time with you again, Manuela. It's been too long.
Ugh, my head. Why am I here instead of the infirmary? When did I... Oh boy.
How are you feeling, Professor Manuela?
Sylvain? What do you need at this hour?
You don't remember? Well, you collapsed in the infirmary and...
That doesn't sound like me. Wait, no, I remember. The truth is, something sad happened. So I did what I always do to forget my troubles.
Anyway, I found you passed out on the floor, helped you up, then carried you back here.
And what were you doing in the infirmary late at night? Not bringing a girl there, I hope.
Nope, I was definitely alone. I just had a bad feeling and I decided to look around to see if anyone needed my help.
Ugh, my poor head.
Are you all right? Here, have some water.
What a thoughtful young man you are. You're a real gentleman, compared to that jerk who just...
That good-for-nothing guy who strung you along, whispered sweet nothings in your ear, then shattered your heart beyond repair? I agree. He's a jerk.
Oh no. Did I say those things to you?
Actually, your version had more details. Very detailed details.
Oh dear.
You know, Professor, you're a good catch. It's a shame that you've had no luck with men. You need a guy like me. Somebody who sees your beauty and appreciates how tender you are, emotionally, and how much love you have to give.
You're a smooth talker, even when you don't mean what you say. I'm going to change, so shoot, okay?
Sure, I can take a hint. Rest up, Manuela.
Thank you, Sylvain. I'm going to try and get some sleep. Did he just call me Manuela and not Professor? That sly little... Although... Me? With Sylvain? Now there's a crazy thought. Ah, Lawrence. Do you have a moment to spare, my dear?
Hello, Professor Manuela. I trust all is well with you.
I am quite well, thank you for asking. You are always such a gentleman.
Thank you for saying so. How may I be of service?
I was wondering if we might spend a little time together. Maybe chat a bit?
Certainly. It is an honor to speak with someone as elegant as yourself. I've just made tea. Would you like a cup?
Oh, that would be just lovely. Lawrence, I hope you won't think it too forward of me, but I was wondering if you could explain a poem to me. It goes like this. Verdant rains soothe, my aching heart like a cherished friend. Amid time's flow I mourn, bonds I'm not sure I can ever rend. As my mind clings to desperate thoughts, here it comes, Horsebow Moon and Summer's End.
Oh, that's my poem.
As I suspected, I've checked absolutely everyone's handwriting. It's a sad poem, though, isn't it? Feels lonely, possibly even, dare I say, defeated. What makes you feel that way, Lawrence? Why aren't you happy? I very much want to know.
Well, I suppose Wait, why are you reading my poetry? Where did you even get that?
I found it, and when I saw the words, I read them. Well, that's what people do when they see words. They read them.
Kindly return that at once. Reading someone else's work without permission. What an egregious breach of etiquette. Honestly.
Oh, dear. Snatching at something someone else is holding. How violent. It's not like you to lose your composure, Lawrence.
Please, just forget you ever saw it. I beg you.
I'm afraid I could never forget that peek into the darkness of your soul. Nor would I want to.
Then at the very least, would you kindly promise not to mention it to anyone else?
Don't feel embarrassed. No. Be proud. It's a lovely piece of writing. Quite revealing. I'd never guess you'd have such hidden depths. Tell me more.
That's quite enough.
Oh, that's absolutely adorable. So bashful. I simply must hear more of his poetry sometime soon.
It's just, I was wondering why it seems as if no one values their own lives. Why do we fight until we die? Why do we kill without hesitation? I hate it. I don't like taking lives, or even the sight of blood. In the last battle, some of the soldiers under my command died for foolish reasons. Those soldiers could have pulled back. Instead, they kept fighting and were overrun. Am I supposed to be satisfied with the victory alone, even at the cost of such life? Exactly. I don't see the point. Honor? That's a foolish reason to give your life. Glory? Even worse. Just the thought frightens me. I'm not suited for battle, Professor. I suppose that's the nature of the world, isn't it? Professor, you take the time to lead me and teach me like this every day. Could the reason be that you don't want me to die on the battlefield? That's a bold statement, Professor. But for whatever reason, I want to believe you. You really are a strange person, you know. Professor, I wish to ask something of you. I don't want to kill. I don't want blood on my hands. I just want to lie on my back and soak up the sun filtering down through the trees. And I want you to help me make that a reality.
Hello, Manuela. I was just wondering, what was it like back when you were involved with that opera troupe? Your life must have been quite different from how it is here, I imagine.
My, how bold to ask an adult about their private life. I'll humor you, though. A diva's life is only glamorous while she's on stage. The rest of her time is consumed by grueling training. Just days and days of practicing, beginning at sunrise, with barely a moment to rest from one performance to the next. Then, once the performances begin, you're on stage for 3 shows a day. Absolutely exhausting. Is that anything like you imagined?
It sounds like a world all its own. Thank you. I find the topic fascinating. What sort of roles did you tend to be cast in? As the lead performer,
Did you play the part of a princess much? Oh, I can only imagine how illustrious that would be.
Yes, I was a princess once or twice. And it was quite something, let me tell you. All those royal jewels and flowing gowns. And they didn't just give me the pretty clothes to wear because I was beautiful, you know. I had to fight and claw my way into every role. But once I was there on stage, singing my solo, and all eyes were on me, it was worth it. I was rewarded for every one of my countless hours of practice. And the cheers when I finished a song, the applause. Oh, I can't properly explain it, but I can tell you, it's an experience I will cherish until the day I die.
Wondrous! It all sounds so very glamorous. Despite how rigorous a schedule you kept, it sounds like the hard work was worth those fleeting moments on stage. Mine has always been a quiet life. It is hard not to feel a twinge of envy, hearing such stories from you.
There's a lot to be said for the quiet life. It was never for me, of course. Still, I hear it's a pretty good deal for a lot of other folks. The thing is, Flame, well, you always have to remind yourself that if a place shines brighter than anywhere else, its shadows will be darker too.
What do you mean?
Nothing. It's a thing I hope you never come to understand. You know what? The next time you visit, I'll tell you all about the time I played a beautiful princess, and about the handsome prince she fell in love with.
Oh, please! I would love to hear all about it.
How are you doing, Professor? Would you care to join me for a cup of tea? It occurs to me that whenever we chat, I have a tendency to pester you with my questions and theories about your history. It seems only fair to speak on the topic of myself for once. And perhaps you might feel more positively inclined toward my research if I shared my own story. I am quite pleased to hear you're interested. Yes, quite pleased. Well, I suppose I should begin at the beginning, eh? I was born into a noble house of the Empire. Not a large house, mind you, but noble all the same. Our land holdings were small, but our bloodline was quite strong. So, as you can imagine, there were many of us in the family who carried the power of crests. I myself bear a minor crest. Our family's abundance of crests may be part of the reason I've been interested in the topic since I was just a boy. I dedicated myself to my studies, and after years of effort, I became lead crest scholar at the Empire's largest research institution. I had only Imperial blood, and thus Imperial crests, at my disposal in the Empire. So I came to Garrick Mach and devoted myself to my research during my time as a professor. My progress is slow, but with each revelation, I move ever closer to the answers I have sought for decades. Your cooperation as the bearer of the Crest of Flames ensures my research will continue to advance. In fact, it may bring me ever closer to the goal of uncovering everything there is to know about crests. I do hope you shall continue helping me advance in this field of study. Together, we will solve the mystery of your Crest of Flames, and our world will be the better for it. Shall we proceed? My lab instruments are fully prepared. I have a great number of tests I'm excited to carry out. No, don't worry. They won't hurt one bit.
Professor Hanneman, do you have a moment?
Linhardt, of course.
Last time we talked, you mentioned the importance of having goals. I gave it some thought, and in the end, I couldn't find one.
Well, no need to panic. Sometimes a goal can reveal itself to you without warning.
What's your goal, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, mine? I want to create a world where everyone can access the power of crests, where no one has to suffer from having or not having that power.
Huh, that's a pretty big dream. But then wouldn't you end up studying everyone? In that world, you'd be killing yourself trying to do research on every person alive.
Ah, you may be right. But at least then, we wouldn't be the only ones taking such pains. The more people who have crests, the more people who will do research. And with more students, the research will progress far faster than it is today. That also means there would be less of the back and forth you don't have the energy for, which should make you happy.
Maybe so.
Does that still do nothing to pique your interest?
To be brutally honest, it would be way less exhausting, but less satisfying as well. That's like fishing at a market.
So you at least understand that much. That is why I do research. If someone's going to see results someday, then I want it to be me. That's a thought that keeps me moving forward, even when it is difficult to do so.
That sounds like enthusiasm. That's not something I have. But if we work together, I wonder if it would spark that enthusiasm.
Are you saying you would agree to study crests with your old professor?
In the end, I think it would probably be more interesting than fishing alone. I don't even have anyone to show any big fish I catch.
Oh, as it were, I feel very much like someone who's made a catch. But the future shall hold even greater things than that. That's a promise.